Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Saturday, January 13th, 2024. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my college basketball bank shop best bet, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Saturday's loaded card in college basketball. First up, we'll go to the SEC as Tennessee takes on Georgia. This one's going to be a 12 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on ESPN2. We got number 5 Tennessee up against an unranked Georgia team, but a team that's on a 10-game win streak and 2-0 to start SEC play. Georgia has wins over Missouri and Arkansas. They played well, give them credit, but I think that Georgia, they benefited from a pretty weak strength of schedule in non-conference play, ranked 187th in Division I hoops, and I do think that this is a really tough matchup for them against the Tennessee team coming off the upset loss. They lost to Mississippi State 77-72. It's a very good Mississippi State team, so I don't know how much of an upset that actually is. And yes, Tennessee in recent years, including this season, has not been known as a great true road team. They do have the nice win against Wisconsin at the beginning of the season on the road, but where I do like Tennessee is on the road against some of the weaker teams in the SEC. We saw last year on the road against the weaker teams in the conference, they earned a lot of blowout W's. Wins against South Carolina 85-42. They beat Mississippi State by 11 points on the road. Beat LSU by 21 points on the road in the SEC. So, Tennessee up against Georgia, I do think it's a good matchup for the Vols. Like I said, I think Georgia is a bit overrated, overvalued because of that 10-game win streak. This is still a team that's not very good on the glass. Tennessee should have a big advantage both on the offensive and defensive rebounding side of things. Georgia offensively, not a great shooting team. I think it's going to be a problem against such a strong Tennessee defense. I just don't think Georgia does enough offensively in this game to keep up. So I like Tennessee in this matchup. We're getting a good price with them because of that loss to Mississippi State and because of that win streak for Georgia. So give me Tennessee. I'm going to lay the points on the road. Next up, we see San Diego State taking on New Mexico. This one's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on CBS. Now, I've mentioned a few times recently because we faded the Lobos a couple of times that I'd much rather take New Mexico when they're playing at home in the pit. And that's where we find them in this game. We faded New Mexico against Colorado State in a 8-point loss for the Lobos. We covered there with Colorado State. And we faded New Mexico in their last game against UNLV, a 10-point loss to UNLV, 83-73. But New Mexico returns home here. They have one of the best home court advantages, not just in the Mountain West, not just in mid-major hoops, but in college basketball, Division I college hoops in general, in my opinion. And even though it's an afternoon game, I still think that New Mexico has a nice home court advantage in this matchup against a ranked team, a team that was in the national championship last year. It's a big spot for this program. Could be a huge resume-boosting victory and, program-boosting victory in general. San Diego State 14-2 this season on a nice win streak right now, and they've got a couple of nice wins along the way. They beat UC Irvine, they beat Stanford, Gonzaga on the road. But overall, I would say San Diego State has not performed too well in their true road games this season. We saw the loss against BYU by 9 points at the beginning of the season. We saw the 1-point victory that was basically on a buzzer beater against UC San Diego, a team you would think normally San Diego State would handle pretty easily. They were a big favorite in that game. We saw the outright loss to Grand Canyon. It's a tough place to play, similar to the Pit, and San Diego State could not handle it. They lost that game by 6 points. Yes, they took care of Gonzaga. That was a really strong victory, but we're starting to see Gonzaga. We saw them in the last game against Santa Clara, not play too well, and it's not nowhere near as strong a Gonzaga team this season as in recent years. But still, give them credit for that win. And then the most recent game, San Jose State, a game where San Diego State should have earned a blowout victory. They only win that game by 3 points, 81-78. I'm concerned with San Diego State on the road. This is one of the toughest places they'll play all year. New Mexico, while they, their recent struggles, they're still a very good team. They take care of the basketball, great rebounding team. I look for a bounce back spot here for the Lobos. Give me New Mexico in this one. Next up, we see Temple in North Texas. This one's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPNU. Temple's offense is really holding the team back this year. I mean, they're ranked 260th in adjusted offensive efficiency, 337th in effective field goal percentage. This team is just not shooting the ball well at all, but they're actually creating pretty good looks shot quality-wise, and I do think there's some room for positive regression for the Owls offensively as we continue conference play. I mean, Temple does a great job at taking care of the basketball. It's not like they're turning the ball over much. They're not a very good offensive rebounding team, but they do a decent job of getting to the free throw line. They're an okay free throw shooting team. They're ranked 130th in the country in free throw percentage. Not too bad. And I think when you see a team shooting that well from the charity stripe and that poorly everywhere else, I think there is, argument to be made that there's going to be some positive regression for this offense. And the Temple defense is fine. They force turnovers, solid defensive rebounding team, pretty disciplined defense. And to me, this is just a case of too many points in a game like this. North Texas, very strong defensive program, a great program in general the last few years, and they're, top 65 team in KenPom right now. But while their defense is super strong, I don't know if I trust their offense to get it done laying this gigantic number even at home. This is a North Texas team that doesn't get to the free throw line much, not a great 2-point field goal percentage team, so they're not really getting those sustainable buckets, and they turn the ball over a ton. They're ranked 302 in the country in turnover percentage offensively, losing the ball around 20% of their possessions. I think Temple's defense good enough. I think the offense continues to improve as the season goes along. I'm going to take Temple plus the points in this matchup. Next up, we see Cal and Oregon. This one's going to be an 8 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on the Pac-12 network. Cal was not doing us any favors at the beginning of the season, but recently we see back-to-back upset victories for Cal in their games against UCLA and Colorado. The UCLA game, Cal was up from the beginning to the end of that one, a 9-point victory on the road. And then against Colorado, Colorado was up to a pretty nice lead early in that game, and in the second half, I believe with like 15 minutes left, Colorado was up by 16 points, but Cal found the comeback. They earned the W and by 4 points, 82-78. And, while this could be considered a letdown spot for Cal, I just still think that this team is being priced as the worst team by far in the Pac-12 conference. And until the books adjust, I still think there's value with Cal in games like this. I mean, this is a solid rebounding team that's starting to shoot the ball a lot better. We saw that game against Colorado, 14 of 30 from three, the Cal Bears were in that game, 47% from the perimeter. I think we continue to see, while they're not going to shoot that well for the rest of the year, we still see them improve from the perimeter. They score a lot of their points from three-point range. And by the way, Oregon, not a very good three-point defense, ranked 232 in the country in three-point defense. And I do think, Cal's going to be able to exploit that in this game. Like I said, I think Cal has an advantage on the glass in this matchup. And, Oregon's a solid team. They're on a nice win streak. But this is just too many points to be laying. I think Oregon does win this game, but I think Cal covers. So give me the points here with the Cal Bears. And the final game we're to talk about for the Saturday card in college basketball, it's going to be Portland and San Francisco. This one's going to be a 10 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, we faded Portland in their last game against St. Mary's, and that was an absolute blowout win for the Gales, 95-52, the final score. And while it's not always best fading a team coming off a loss like that, because usually you're not getting the best of the number because either the books or the betting markets overreact to that one performance, I still think there's value fading Portland in this matchup because I think it's as equally a bad spot for the Pilots as it was against St. Mary's. San Francisco may not be the same style of team, but this is a San Francisco team that's very strong on the glass, both offensive and defensive rebounding wise. They force a lot of turnovers, just as St. Mary's did in that game against Portland. We look at that game, Portland had 13 turnovers. They go 12 offensive rebounds to St. Mary's. And yes, St. Mary's had a great day shooting the basketball, 16-32 from three. But Portland also shot 40% itself from the three-point line. So, for me, when you look at that Portland offense putting up only 52 points, and they still had a pretty decent day from the perimeter, that's really concerning for me going forward. We know Portland turns the ball over a lot. We know they don't rebound the ball very well on either side of the court. And their defense, we've seen it struggle in recent games, giving up 95 points to St. Mary's. San Francisco, to me, is an offense that's really sustainable. I mean, we saw in their last game, they put up 83 points and won the game by 20, despite only shooting 29% from the perimeter. It shows you that the Dons can go out there, and even if it's not their best night shooting, still put up crooked numbers in conference play against some of the weaker teams in this conference, and still win games by lopsided numbers. And San Francisco is a decent three-point shooting team. So going forward, we should see this team improve from that 29% performance we just saw. San Francisco 13th ranked in two-point shooting. This, to me, looks like another blowout. I'm going to take San Francisco and lay the points against the Pilots. And that's it. Those are the games for Saturday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.